Hi YouTubers and gamers, and I'm back with another, well, I guess it's been about 5 or 6 weeks pick-up video. As always, we'll start off with the name of the game. So, for everyone who is not so sure of the rules, I've taken the name of the game and substituted a couple of words. The middle word is actually the original word, so I'm not changed that, but obviously I've changed the first word and I've changed the last word. And I'm not going to give you any more clues than that because it's quite easy. So it says Queen of Lovers. So that's your clue. Quite an easy one this week. Okay. That'll stay up. Okay, great. Yeah, this month I've got no Sega Saturn games, but probably in the next pickup video there'll be quite I might do a specialist episode of Sega Saturn pickups more than anything else really. But all of a sudden we've got a nice mix of things over the past 6 weeks. First of all, let's start off with one of the big things. On a Sega Dreamcast from Cash Converters for, well, it was £10.99, but I only had about £10 in cash on me, and they obviously took that, they did. It is, recognise it? Yep, it is the Dreamcast steering wheel. Comes with a manual and obviously the steering wheel all in good condition. The box was quite tatty, but I went round and taped it all up, reinforced it to extend its life. So it's obviously it's not a minty version, but to get a minty steering wheel for a Saturn, the Dreamcast is not exactly easy. And for 10 quid for, you know, it's not a non-brainer really. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I have some vinyl. I don't show too much vinyl because I don't have too much gaming related vinyl. But there was a couple. I don't know when these got released, but I discovered them. There's a 2 LP soundtrack for original Resident Evil. They're not picture discs or anything, but then I'm not really that bothered. It was just like these were just over £20 from Amazon, and also for Resident Evil 2. So 2 iconic games, and we're keen to have the soundtracks for those first 2. Of course, I hope they do the same for Resident Evil 3 and 4, and that would be fantastic. But we'll wait and see. But yeah, so I'll pick those up while they're readily available. Turning away from the, well, I'm not still staying on known games. I don't remember if I showed this or not in the previous pickup video. Cash Converters had this for £3. It's the SNES controller, original. Pick them up all day for £3 really. So yeah, there's no harm having another SNES controller for £3. Strategy guide, I think I've shown this before. This is about a tenner. Tomb Raider, it's Shadow of a Tomb Raider limited edition strategy guide. On a whole, strategy guides are becoming less common these days, aren't they? Because they're not making so many, which is a sign of the times, really. I do like to collect the guides for the more popular games. I was trying to get a guide for every single game I got, but that's become mission impossible, of course. But I do have quite a large collection of strategy guides, really. So now I'll just focus on guides for games which are, better games. Okay, on the Switch, for about £45. Got it from a charity shop online. It was on eBay, but they took an offer of £45. It is its original Super Smash Bros. Switch Pro controller. It is definitely original. I've checked it all over. It's got all the Nintendo markings on it as well. And it's nice to have a Super Smash Bros. Version of this. There are quite good copy ones out there for the Smash Brothers and Splatoon and all sorts. I think they're about 20 quid. They don't include the sort of motion or 6-axis control or not, but for 20 quid those ones, you know, what do you expect really? So I'm quite happy to have a proper Pro controller for all the Smash Brothers collection. On the PSP, nothing too special, just for my... I'm aiming to get every PES game cheap. For £2, PES 2012 on the PSP. Did not have that one. PSP games aren't incredibly hugely in abundance, so that's about another 35 games I've got on my list or want list, but it just takes forever, you know, slowly picking them up. A bit like a DS collection, I think I've got about 25 games on my DS want list as well. And again, even though most, you know, the common DS games are obviously very common by definition, it's the more interesting ones I'm after. So I was able to get a couple. Nano Stray, that's £15. Nano Stray 2 is what I should say. You know, a proper shooter, not too many of these on the DS. First Nano Stray is very good, and this was second one's even better. And Ultimate Mortal Kombat, which I have additional gameplay modes in. So this wasn't a lot. I think this was about 5 on CX. On the 3DS, I picked this up 30 quid, new off eBay. I think it was Shop 2 or whatever. And it is Kirby's Extra Epic LAN. This was originally released on the Wii. This is a release for this year, so it's one of the last releases for the 3DS. I think there's at least one more, which is Persona Q2 or whatever they call it, which I will get, because I think these last releases on the 3DS, they're not going to sell in abundance, and they will become quite collectible, the last few releases, because, to be honest, who's picking up 3DS games really, apart from the die-hard collectors? Not many. So, yeah, so I thought I'll get that while I can, because I think that's going to become quite more expensive quite quickly over the forthcoming years. Okay, I mean it'll probably drop as, you know, people stop collecting on 3DS altogether, but you probably won't see them, and then they'll creep up and become really expensive 3DS games, I imagine. That's my forecast. Okay, let's turn to the Wii. One import Wii game from America, which cost me about £25 including shipping. I did not know this game existed. Used to be able to get it on the Wii Virtual Console, whatever it was called. But there was a physical release in America, and I don't know why we did not get this in Europe. It's really strange. It's Gremlins Gizmo. Quite a cutesy Gremlins games. Gremlin game rather. I know you can get a few Gremlin playable characters on the, what was it, I think the Lego games. Yeah, Lego, you know that last Lego game it is it Lego Discovery, what it was called, I can't remember now. But yeah, I think this is probably the best graphics Gremlins game that we've got so far really today. So I'm quite glad to get that. Again, I said this is one I did not know exists, so if you do collect for Wii in Europe, do you know about this game? If so, pick it up from the States while you can. Okay. Let's turn to Dreamcast. Got a couple of Dreamcast games. I think I've pretty much got all of the original Dreamcast games I've got. There's a few, I say bootleg stroke, you know, third-party games that I'll probably get, but I think these are all the last of proper releases. So, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. I got this actually from CEX. I took a chance. It was cheaper on CEX than on eBay, because on eBay they want about £40 plus for this game. I know Dreamcast games are getting expensive. But CEX, £28, and it came complete and no broken packaging. It's quite remarkable really. Because that's the hardest thing about Dreamcast collecting now, is not so much getting the game, it's getting the cases that aren't smashed to pieces really. And even, I mean, I used to try to buy, you know, when I had to, I would buy cheap games, you know, just for the cases, and again, you're still looking at about £6 or £7 for those games now. So at least. So it's not easy getting complete games. Another one that was in good condition as well, Dreamcast. Did do a live 2 on a Dreamcast. I know this was also released on the Xbox, but it's nice to actually get a Sega version, so to speak. Right, this turn to PS1. A couple of cheap games. It's like a 3D flying fighting game, Viper. About £5 off eBay. Quite cheap, I'm going to say. This is a core game. Core design is what we call them. Shell Shock, so it's a tank battle type game. Again, it's quite good reviews. Again, it wasn't a lot, it was about £5 or £6. This other game, this last game, I got the Japanese version. Reason being is the Western PAL version is really expensive. You're looking at a minimum £60 plus. And to get the Japanese PAL version for about 20 quid delivered is worth it, because in this case the language issue isn't a problem because it's a fighting game. And that is Street Fighter Real Battle on Film. It's probably one of the poorer Street Fighter games ever made. It's probably quite cheesy and comical to play. It's got obviously live action video footage type thing, or sprites, whatever you want to call it, which are obviously inspired by Mortal Kombat. Unfortunately, not so much blood, I suppose. But yeah, £3. I'm quite happy for that. I'm not really wanting to spend a huge amount of money on PlayStation games, especially the mediocre ones, if I can get a Japanese version for much cheaper. So yeah, okay, let's turn to PS3. I've got loads of Lego games that come with limited edition figures, and there's a couple of releases here which I did not have, which I both got for, one was £20, which with postage, the other was about 30. For 30 I got Harry Potter Years 1 to 4. This comes with some pins and stickers and booklets and stuff. No playable figure though. It's not too bad condition. And this one, Harry Potter Year 5 to 7. This does come with a little figure set, which is all complete. Yeah, nice little set. Okie dokie. Let's turn to PS4. Right, okay, I might do a VR game separate. Let's make sure I have done that. VR. Okay. Right, these are all VR games. Most of these were about 15 quid or under. Downward Spiral, Horror Station, that's from Game. Paper Dolls, again about the same money. This is like a horror game. This is quite cute. Action adventure. Moss, you play obviously as a mouse. Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim VR version. Again, to get that for 15 quid is quite a good deal, because you know they're still asking 30 for that in the shops. Another sort of a mystery adventure game that looks interesting, Torn. And if I'm got some cash converters for 15 quid. Astrobot. It's supposed to be really good actually. Okay. I managed to pull from the game for about 23 quid, got the Steelbook edition of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So that's really cool. All complete with the art cards and everything. So these Steelbooks, when they first get released, they're quite expensive, aren't they? About 50 or 60 quid. So I try to hang on for about 6 months or more and see if I can get them when they're much cheaper. Game do have a few exclusives, so that's why I try to wait for those really. But usually, if I'm patient enough, they come down to a price I want to pay. from Amazon for, I think it's under about 18 quid. Yeah, it wasn't much. I think it's under 20 quid. Shantae Half Genie Hero Ultimate Edition. I did have this on the, well, I do have this on the NTSC one originally, because it did come over here, but they did release it over here. And this one's a better version because it's got all the DLC on it apparently. So yeah, cool to home. And Shantae games, I know all the early releases are very collectible, and I should think they will be at some point too, although they're not more common. Okay, so originally released on an American PS Vita, I do have that, but it's Zero Time Dilemma by ASCII's. It's one of those sort of RPG stroke puzzle type game. I think it's a bit of an RPG. It's only got a story with puzzles anyway. 12 quid for some CX. I thought that was a good price. I think that will be a game that'll be harder to find in the future. Limited run games. This will be going for up a lot in money. It's Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. This is like a an 8-bit prequel to the 32-bit game or whatever it is, coming out later in the year. So yeah, nice to have that from limited run games. It's pretty much like Castlevania. And I think that's what's going to push up the value of that particular game. Okay, from a French, I think it's French, developer stroke shop, or our publisher. Well, I guess they're not really a developer, this is the publishers really. There's a shop you can get these from online called Red Art Games. And they're releasing a lot of low budget games. Reminds me a little bit of Phoenix games, they used to be, because I don't think most of their games aren't particularly that good. But there was a couple that caught my eye. One is a shooter that's relatively got good graphics. It's quite basic, but it's nice graphics. That's Full Blast. So if you like your, it's supposed to be like Bullet Hell, but it's not quite good. I wouldn't class it quite that good, but it's still quite nice. Check out the play footage of this on YouTube, guys, if you're interested in your shooters, and get it off. You know, import it while you can get it for next to, you know, quite cheap. But they're not expensive, these games. These games are under £20 each. And this one, it was released on the PS2 and Xbox, I think. And this one's supposed to have updated graphics, although it's very marginal, the update. So, again, it's for the PS4 collection, and I do have original NES game as well. It's the Bard's Tale remastered and re-snarkled or whatever. Yeah. Again, for the PS4 collection. And on the PS4, last but not least, from Strictly Limited Games, and this one is going to become really, really collectible, I reckon. It is R-Type Dimensions EX, so it's got the first two R-Type games. And not only are they the first two games on the PS4, but you have the option of changing the graphics to like a 3D mode graphics, which are, I wouldn't put them in the same league as that 3D graphics you expect with a modern PS4 game. No, they're more like an iOS or mobile game, I suppose, really. But it's still obviously much more superior compared to the original 8-bit or whatever graphics they were on original games. They do have an option of infinite credit as well, so you can complete these games, which is nice, because R-Type games are bloody hard. So that's nice to be able to complete the games. I found that even though 3D graphics are obviously superior and better, I still quite like the original graphics, so that's why I tend to play it on. I guess it's, you know, it's about this, you know, being a product being a sign of its times and enjoying it for that, you know. If you want all modern graphics, you buy a modern game, where sometimes you just want to buy the older graphic games, and essentially it's only the graphics that are different, it's the same gameplay. So yeah, so there's a lot to be said of that. Okay, last but not least, I have an import game. I got this from a UK seller. on eBay, and I got it for about a third less than the going price on eBay. It's quite an expensive game. It's one of the bullet hell shooters, one of Japanese bullet hell shooters on the Xbox 360. It is Bullet Soul Infinite Burst, and what's good about Bullet Soul was you can get Bullet Soul as a standard edition as well from Japan, which is still quite expensive, but the Infinite Burst one is one that the collectors want, because not only do you get a collector's edition with the magazine stroke guide stroke art book, it's all in Japanese, you also get play a game with Infinite Burst option, which basically gives you a chance to build up I don't know, reserve, so you can fire infinite bursts of energy, and as long as you keep picking up the particular red gems or whatever they're called, you can keep firing, so you can really do some hefty damage. You can. Very good game. Not the best game on the 360. Surprisingly, the cheaper ones are quite good still to get, like the Death Smiles. Oh, I think and. Was it Red Quintana? It was called. What was it called? Was it Kai Quintana? I can't remember what it's called now. But it's and obviously Dodonpachi games and things like that. But, they are superior in my mind. It's not as good as Muchy Muchy Pork and Pink Bullets, which is another rare game which you can get. I think you can spend the money, get that one over this one. But if you're like me, you want to get all the good bullet hell shooters on the Japanese Xbox 360, and this is one. And this is playable on all versions of Xbox 360. You don't need to have a modded or Japanese console. I do have a modded console anyway, but it's nice to be able to play it. So I've actually got this installed on my modded Xbox 360 on the hard drive there, so I won't need to take this out of the box. So yeah, quite a nice one for the collection. Very minty. And that's it, guys. So as before, like, subscribe, leave any comments, have a go at the game. It's quite an easy one. Just put your answer down below, and I'll do another pickup for you in the next 5 or 6 weeks. Okay, guys. So until then, take care.